Rosemary is back online, and today she has more goodies and more lessons. Rosemary, good morning.
Good morning, Eric. How are you this morning?
I am fine, thank you.
Super. Morning, Do. Morning, Titi.
Good morning,
Good
Rosemary.
morning.
Great. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too. Are you well?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay. So you've been giving us some goodies. Yesterday we gave some 3 goodies to people who answered about what Market Finder is. And just to recap that for the benefit of those that may have missed the exam and the lesson. So the question yesterday was, what is Market Finder? And Google, Ndu, what was the answer?
So market find well.
Under the bus. Like this is what it's called.
Don't mind him. I know what you're trying to do, but there were many answers. The specific one that you were looking for.
How do you find it?
How do you find Market Finder?
Yes.
That was the second question.
Yes, that's the one which gave problems. I mean, the simple
The one that
answer.
gave problems is so it was
How do you find it?
The response is-
g.co/Go
Go Africa.
Africa. That's where you find it.
Africa has to feature somewhere.
Yeah.
.co.ke.
Yes.
It
G-
opens a page and then you actually.
And then the
now-
second tab is what you're
second
looking
tab.
for.
The second tab.
And Market Finder is this tool that helps you to see what other markets your kind of product or service is being sought for.
But also,
Sindio,
what I realize as I listen to all this is that as you go through this process, you actually get to understand more and more how to use systems such as this one. Because it opens your eyes to things that ordinarily you wouldn't really be interested in looking at.
Yeah, some things that you just you live in your own bubble.
Yes.
You think
I'm
how
very comfortable in that
how I
bubble.
do my business is I talk to people,
Yes.
or I send out my people to go and knock on doors.
On other people's
On
doors.
other people's doors. Now here you can actually still have those people going to knock on other people's doors, but then you can also use a tool like this
Actually,
and knocks on many more people's doors.
it's the novelty
at
of
the
it.
same time.
It's the novelty of it. And with business, if you can't innovate and you can't think ahead and look for new markets, then that business of yours will die.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So Molimo, today you still have some more hampers to give away. What are the questions for today?
Yeah, so to talk about creating awareness of your products through advertising. So today I want to understand if they remember what the products are to create awareness for advertising of your products. So question number 1, what are the 3 advertising products? Number 2, how do they work? And then bonus question, how are you charged for them? How do you pay for them? So let me repeat.
What are the 3 advertising
Yeah.
platforms?
Yes.
Hey, and now when you use now some heavy words, advertising platforms. What exactly are you looking for? Like what? I would simplify that.
How do you?
into-
Yes. How do you create awareness of your products? If you do have a business profile, you want to export your products, you're not using Market Finder, you want to move out and begin exporting your product, your mongoose tail and rat tail hat to the US, for example, and now you want to create awareness of your products in the US through digital platforms. How then do you create this awareness? And you create it through advertising. And I taught you about 3 advertising platforms on creating awareness.
Okay.
Yes. What are these platforms?
So those 3 platforms. And then
Yes.
the second question is how they work.
How do they work? Correct.
Okay. And there's a
And
bonus
then a
question.
bonus question. Yes. Now that you know what they are and how they work, how do you pay for them?
How do you pay for them?
Yeah, and that's for the very smart.
How do you pay
It's
for
a
them? Are you
bonus.
asking like how the money comes from me to you to Google?
No, it's actually, let me clarify. So one idea could be, do I pay when people see my ad? Do I pay regardless, just by putting my ad out there in the market? So
It's like,
there's
is
a
there
particular
fixed charge,
rate.
or is there
there a
a
fixed
variable
charge?
rate, and how does that work? Such.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. 0719-012-600 or Spice FM KE on Facebook and Twitter. The question has already been posted there by Mr. Brian Amulioto. So get to it and respond. And also you can call in 0719-012-600. We're talking about advertising this time. So all those things that you've done, your business is online and you are seeking to advertise. If, as we wait for the answers, maybe Rosemary, you can just give us insights. How many people, how many businesses advertise in Kenya? and or such kind of things. I mean, have you seen a growth in terms of the number of SMEs that are using the advertising tool?
To be honest, I mean, I think there's limited awareness that these tools actually exist. I remember a lot of businesses don't understand that a lot of these tools are available within their reach and they're actually affordable. There's this idea or perception that the tools are quite pricey and they can't afford them, but they're actually quite affordable, and you can actually pay for them on a daily basis. So if you have a certain amount of money, for example, I only have 1,000 shillings, you could say, I want to use this 1,000 shillings over 10 days, and it's very possible. So you only would say, I want to only use 100 shillings per day, and therefore put your products online for 100 shillings per day. So the beautiful thing is that the tools are affordable, but the challenge we have is there's low awareness that these tools exist, or number two, that they are affordable. So I think what we need to do as an industry is to try and create more awareness that the platform exists, and it's within reach for small and medium business owners. The ones who tend to use these tools tend to be the more larger organizations, the big brands know them.
Yep.
And so the smaller businesses, unfortunately, right now feel like it's outside of their reach. So my goal is to try and help create even more awareness to them that it's affordable, and there's no reason why you cannot test it out and go with what you can afford. If it's 1,000 shillings over 10 days, do that.
I know you're giving an example that the 1,000 shillings divided by 10 is an example, but in reality, what is the lowest that you can expect to pay, even if it's over a period of time? And what is the longest period of time that this installment system will allow you to pay?
There's actually no minimum, to be honest, CT. It's really a matter of the economy of the market that you're in. So, for example, in a market like Kenya, there are very few advertisers. So what you'd pay for an ad is so much cheaper than what you pay for that same ad if you're in the US or in the UK. So in that case, now you base on the competitive nature of the market that you're in, and then go with the average. So you could spend as low as USD 0.01 for a particular click, for example, if you're to charge that for a click. And in that case, you could say, I only want to get 10 clicks. I'm happy with 10 leads a day. And if the average cost per click is USD 0.01, then that's what I'm going to spend per day. And that way you define for yourself your boundary, how much you want to spend in a day, and then you get the results from that minimum spend.
Rosemary,
or you could say, I have...
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead and do.
What are the folks who are getting their business seen? What kind of amounts are we seeing them spending?
Yeah. So I'll probably say it depends on the market. So if I'm in Kenya, for example, I could actually spend as low as USD 0.01 per click, right, for an ad per day. And I could spend as high as $1 for an ad per click if I was in the US. So if I want to think about it, it's a matter of saying, where do I want to have my ad seen? Do I want my ad to be seen by Kenyans only? Then that would be a much lower investment. So you could actually say maybe even 1,000 shillings a day would give you massive reach, for example, in Kenya. But if you're trying to get eyeballs in the US, that would be a drop in the ocean. So it would vary. Where's your market? Where's your audience? What is the average investment that would be required to give you the optimal visibility in that market? So if I was in Kenya and I'm caring only about people who are in Kenya to see my ad, then I'll probably say even maybe USD 100 shillings can actually work on one of the networks, which I won't disclose because I'll give the answer away.
Sure.
But nonetheless, yeah, you can actually say on average, I would see SMEs spending 200 shillings a day in Kenya and are getting optimal visibility.
Okay.
Actually, very good visibility per day.
That's a very good thing to hear. Just to recap the questions for today is, now we're talking about advertising today, and you stand a chance of winning a Google hamper plus more goodies that Rosemary is putting in. How much are you throwing in again? Now that there's advertising, today there must be money, right?
Yeah, there is, yeah. So yes, so you will get the hamper, and I'll also throw in that hamper 1 month of Google Ads,
okay,
worth $100, which is roughly 11,000 Kenya shillings.
So 1 month of Google Ads worth around 11,000 Kenya shillings plus the hamper. If you are able to answer these three questions, so we have been speaking about creating awareness through advertising on Google platforms. So there are 3 platforms for advertising on Google. What are these three platforms? That's the question number one. Question number two, tell us how each of them works. Then question number, which is a bonus question, number three, the average, how you pay. And this is how then do you get to pay for this? Not at how, whether you can pay via M-Pesa or via card. No. It's how are they charged? How is an ad charged? It's very many questions, and I mean very many answers already coming in. We'll be sampling them on social media as we talk about this. Rosemary, you've just explained to us, how many people are advertising right now online. How many of them are going to pay online? Every time you're talking about the charge and the cost, you're talking about it in dollars. Is that how Google operates? So when I'm going to actually place my ad, I'll have to think about the charges in dollars? Or does Google then talk about Kenya and then it converts to shillings?
So actually, unfortunately, right now we're yet to get Kenyan currency into the system, the ad system, but it's a requirement that we're going to be able to enable next year. So right now, unfortunately, we have to buy the ads in USD, but that will change next year. So just this year, bear with me. We have to just talk in USD, but we have the conversion instantly.
Okay.
So you can still pay through M-Pesa. Don't worry about getting USD to book your ads. That is how we calculate on the back end. But in terms of how you can pay for these ads, our partner, Africa 108, are able to receive your payment through M-Pesa or through Airtel Money. So that should not be a limiting factor for you. You don't have to have a credit card or USD currency. You can pay in Kenya shillings, and you can pay through M-Pesa or Airtel Money or Telcom. So yeah, there is no hindrance for you to book these ads. Just go to our partner, they will accept your Kenyan shilling currency. But on the back end, we unfortunately showcase the currency spend in USD. But that will change next year.
Okay. So let's see whether some of the answers that are coming in.
Okay, so the platforms that you're asking about, Edwin says Google Ads, Google Marketing Platform, and Ad Manager.
No.
Edwin, hey, you've gone technical, Edwin. Google Ads, Google Marketing Platform, and Ad Manager. Well, why?
No.
What are those, Rosemary?
So he's talking about Google Ads, which yes, these are Google Ads, but that's not the actual platform, right? Ad Manager, was that the second question? Answer was what? Sorry,
Google Marketing Platform.
No, there's no such thing as marketing platform, but and then the third one was, I think, Ad Manager.
Yes.
No, that doesn't exist. No.
Okay.
Next.
Mumbi says, the platforms upon which you can create awareness, social media is where she has gone, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Those are correct answers, but not Google platforms. Okay. But those are correct. You can actually advertise on Facebook, on social media. Absolutely, yes. Those are platforms, but those are not Google platforms.
So the question is specific. If you're advertising on Google, what are the platforms that you advertise on? So let's just use an example, okay? So if you're advertising on radio, on Spice FM, the way you can advertise is by paying for a commercial that is recorded, that airs. When we go into a commercial break, the ads that run. Another way that you can advertise is by having the presenters talk about your product, and this is called presenter mentions. Another way of advertising is by having Spice FM come and do an activation at your location. So we come and do an outside broadcast. So those are the kind of things that we're talking about. So when it comes to advertising on Google itself, how is it that your ad will appear, and how will your ad be served? How will people see that ad? How will they get to see it? Maybe you can give one hint.
Yes. So one hint is one of the platforms leverages publisher networks. So publishers are people who have multiple websites, and the ads then go on that publisher network, and that is one form. Another form, I can give another hint, is when you're watching videos, right? What platform are you watching those videos on? So those are two very good hints. The third one, it's a no-brainer.
Okay. So Dave has
part of our name.
Dave has an answer here. Dave is answering the first question, and he said search advertising, video advertising, and display advertising.
That's one.
That's
that one, correct.
That's
100%.
Hey, Dave. Dave.
Well done, David. Well done. Well done.
Hey.
Spot on.
So again, the answers?
Search advertising, video advertising, and display advertising.
Spot
Search,
on.
video, and display advertising. Okay. So
Correct.
maybe now we can ask. Now the second question is: there's search advertising. How does search advertising work? I mean, how will you be able to reach your audience if you advertise through search, or how will you be able to reach your audience if you advertised via YouTube? How would you be able to reach your audience if you advertised via the display advertising option? I think maybe explain that display advertising option platform again a bit.
Yes, yes. So display is just a word of, just think about a display. A display, like if you went into town and you saw people putting out things on display, right? Just things, pictures, posters,
Billboards.
banners, billboards, exactly. That's all display advertising. When you transfer that now to an online presence, you're reading content. I'm reading, I want to, let's say, learn how to begin this new diet, intermittent fasting. And if I go to this health article or that explains to me what is IF, intermittent fasting. So I'm reading the how it works, and then I see a banner that says, okay, you can lose weight by drinking this concoction of lemon, ginger, and honey, a banner by some company that is selling lemon, ginger, honey products. So that little banner is what I would call display advertising, right? Where the banner shows up as I'm browsing content that I'm currently curious on. Or I want to buy a car. I'm going to car comparison websites. I'm comparing Toyota versus a Volkswagen versus a Hyundai. And then I'm on that reviewing the reviews, and I see an ad that says, come to Toyota Kenya. We're offering you complimentary 10% off your first month payment, right?
Yeah.
That banner that I see there is what we call display advertising. So I say Toyota Kenya banner as I'm browsing car review websites. So that is what we call display advertising. We are able to put banners on publisher websites and are able to engage with the audience as they're reading content that's related to that particular category.
So
the
Google
publishers
is able
are,
to place my ad on, for example, the standard website.
yes,
So I'm on the
Yes.
standard. I'm actually on the standard website. I'm reading a news article, and I can see
Yes.
an ad on the side. This has actually been served by Google there, and Google has partnered with Standard.
yes, correct. So in this case, Standard is a publisher, and Google has allowed us to, we're able to put ads on that publisher website, and we do a revenue split. So whenever the ad is clicked when I'm reading Standard content, we'll split that revenue between Google and Standard. But in this case, the advertiser, let's say it's KCB, will be the one who will pay for that ad.
Okay.
So I'm reading Standard Media, I see a KCB ad coming through, I click on the ad, and then what happens is KCB will pay for that ad, and at the end of the day, Google will get a revenue split between Google and Standard Media Group. So that's what we call a publisher platform.
The question I'm about to ask was always in the making. What I've heard with reference to this advertising, it's very stimulating to the mind. Sounds good. Now, do we have success stories in this field?
Yes, actually, what we have seen that is people are, I'd call them, you need to find them when they're in that zone. So in this case, I'm actually looking to lose some weight. I want to try intermittent fasting. And so when you pass them that ad that says, here, try this lemon ginger honey concoction, I'll be more in tune to, let me check it out and see what people are saying about it. Does it really work? So I'm already in that mindset of trying to get into that habit. And therefore, you're able to come to me at that point where I'm actually expressing some sort of intent, and I'm in the mind space. So yes. And then when it comes to search, I have the actual intent. I'm looking to buy an affordable car. So I'm fighting for cheap cars in Kenya. So when I see the banner for Toyota Kenya, what happens? I'm actually going to be keen to click on that banner because I want to learn more about this ad they have for Toyota Kenya. So I have the intent of buying a car, and therefore your ad is very relevant. So when you think about the relevant platforms, yes, you're able to capture intent and capture them at that point of need.
So I think just to add to what CT is asking, are there advertisers who come back and say, you know what, I actually advertised via search or via display, And I have seen so many returns. I mean, people have bought my product or people have sought my services just because they saw my advert online.
Yes, yes. So think about the airlines. Think about like even our local carriers that are within domestic markets. So Jumbo Jet, Safari Link. So the other day I was looking for tickets to Diani and I saw an ad for Safari Link, and the next ad below was Jumbo Jet. So clearly I clicked on that ad, I went and bought the tickets. So we have been able to see them coming back again because they come back because they are seeing conversions. They are seeing, you know what, I'm actually selling. And therefore, if they were not coming back, then you probably would not, you'd question is this really working for them? But you're able to actually have a return on investment. I'm able to say, fine, I put my ad out there. I got several clicks in a day that led me to several tickets being sold. And I can actually see the return on investment for every single ad that I put. And if my ad isn't clicked, guess what? I don't pay anything. I only pay when they actually click on my ad. That way there's a powerful ROI there. You only charge when people click on your ad and come to your website. If they don't click, there's no charge for you. It's free awareness. If they click, they're coming to buy a ticket. So there's a direct ROI between the cost per click as well as how you are able to put money on the platforms. So yes, we are seeing returns, and you're able to track success, unlike the typical platforms.
Okay, so an answer to how we do it, how you pay. Boyer says, there is the Google Ads. Marketers pay direct users to their desired web pages using a pay-per-click system. Google Marketing Platform brings together the best of double-click advertiser products, and Ad Manager helps companies grow ad revenue and protect their brand. Does that work for an answer for you?
So, I mean, he's gone very technical.
Yeah.
I mean, DoubleClick definitely it is one of our platforms, not what we are referring to here. And so I'll probably say he didn't answer the specific question that I actually asked, but he did answer one that I would not have asked for this audience. It's a very technical response,
You're
but
actually
not this
saying that
particular
he
one.
set his own exam and then provided
Exactly.
his own marking scheme.
But he did answer correctly to a different question.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So it sounded a bit technical for many others who are thinking, all right, so what are the answers to
No,
this?
it sounded really good.
So the question number one was, what are the three platforms on which you can advertise on Google? And the answer, and someone already got this and they get the hamper, is Google Search, the Display Network, or the YouTube platform. All right. And then the second question has been, so just tell us, how does each of these work? And then the bonus question is, how do you pay in advertising for this? And you've been talking about this through and through: pay per click, pay per impression, or pay per. Okay. So no correct answers for the other two questions. So what do we do with that? We roll it over to Monday?
So what we can do is, I think, so do your last response. I think he answered one correctly. I think he did. Did he say pay-per-click? Just rewind
yes,
that
he
answer
did.
again
Pay per
for me.
click, yes.
Okay, yeah. So I think that one, he got one of the two processes correct. So for search, it is pay-per-click. So maybe we can actually reward him for that one of three. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what I could probably do is maybe just explain how the other two work, and we can look for an easier question on Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So for display, any more answers coming through, or
No.
should I give the answers?
No.
Okay, great. So for display advertising, it's a cost. So the way it works is we charge on a cost per impression. Impression basically is the number of times your ad shows up on a publisher website. That's one impression. So we pay per 1,000 impressions. So it has to be show up 1,000 times on different publisher platforms, and there's a cost per 1,000 impressions, or CPM is the acronym. On search, it is cost per click, CPC, right? So anytime your ad is clicked, there's a cost per click. On search, on display, a cost per 1,000 impressions, and on YouTube, who wants to guess? Eric, you know this one.
On YouTube.
Yes.
Yes. If your ad is shown and someone does not click skip ad for the first 15 seconds, then okay, from there you pay.
Actually, 30 seconds.
It's 30 seconds.
30 seconds, yes.
Okay.
You're close.
30
seconds. So it's a cost per view.
Cost per view.
Why am I not
Cost
being
per
asked
view.
questions today?
No, I'm about to ask you right now. So if on YouTube CT my ad is less than 30 seconds, when do I
didn't
get
intend you
paid?
to take me seriously, for heaven's sake. I was just making conversation. But anyway, continue.
If an ad,
So- If an ad on YouTube is less than 30 seconds, when am I charged?
Let me put it in layman's terms. You are
Please.
only charged.
Okay. Viewed to what amount? Halfway, a third, full?
Huh? You mean there are such measurements in fractions? Huh? Where was I when you're teaching that particular bit of the lesson? Me, I thought it was just one complete unit. Okay. So tell me these fractions. What is the smallest fraction that is required for you to pay for the viewing?
So cost per view, if my video is 15 seconds,
Oh.
I'll only get charged if they watch the entire 15 seconds. But if they only watch 7 seconds, or 7.5 seconds, that's half of the video, I will not get charged. So if my video is less than 30 seconds, I'll only get charged if they watch the entire video, not a fraction of that video.
So the key to this thing is to make it long so that people don't watch it fully, so you don't pay.
No, if you want to make it less,
Short.
if you can have it less short is sweet. Short is sweet.
make it 28 seconds.
Yeah, then they have to watch 28 seconds for you to get charged.
So someone watches, and then the final second like this, just make it a banner. The content of the ad is 25 seconds. After that, someone skips.
Exactly.
Trying to game the system. Rosemary, thank you very much for speaking to us this week. Next
my
week,
pleasure.
we speak, and then you will be bringing somebody else to also give their testimonial and tell us how their business has been working or how we can take
Yes.
advantage of the platforms that you have.
Absolutely, yes. We have 2 speakers next week.
Sawa. Have a lovely weekend.
And you too. Take care, sweetie. Bye, do.
Thank you, Rosemary.
Thank you very much.